In 1912, the Titanic was called the unsinkable ship. Thousands of people trusted that belief without question. But history proves something important. Confidence without caution can be dangerous. Imagine walking into work tomorrow morning. You laugh with your teammates. You complain about your boss over coffee. You tell someone you're interviewing at another company because you trust them. 3 weeks later, your manager already knows. You don't get the promotion. Your relationship with your team suddenly changes, and you're left wondering, who told them? Most career setbacks don't happen because of poor performance. They happen because people misunderstand one simple workplace rule. Being friendly is important. Treating coworkers like lifelong friends can sometimes be a costly mistake. This video is not saying that every coworker is fake. It's not saying you should never make genuine friends at work. Some of the strongest lifelong friendships have started in offices and factories. Today, we'll explore why workplace friendships can become dangerous when boundaries disappear, and how some of the world's biggest companies and even history itself have shown why keeping healthy boundaries can protect your career. First, the foundation of friendship versus work. Humans naturally want to belong. Psychologists call this the need for social belonging. It's one of our strongest emotional needs. That's why workplaces naturally create friendships. You spend 8, sometimes 10, even 12 hours every day with the same people. That's often more time than you spend with your own family. So naturally, people become close. But here's what many professionals forget. Real friendship is built on something simple. You choose your friends. Friendship is built around trust, loyalty, and emotional support. Workplace relationships, completely different foundation. You didn't choose your coworkers. A hiring manager did. And the entire relationship exists inside a structure built on competition for promotions, performance metrics, and yes, self-interest. These two worlds often overlap, but they are not the same thing. And when people confuse them, problems begin. For example, Google encourages collaboration, employees eat and play together, share ideas openly. The company even designs offices to encourage conversations. But despite this friendly culture, performance evaluations remain objective. Employees still compete for promotions, leadership roles, compensation. Because at the end of the day, Google is still a business. Friendship may exist, but performance decides careers. That's why even inside companies famous for culture, professional boundaries still matter. Why our brain gets confused? Our brains have a shortcut. Psychologists call it the familiarity effect. The more often we see someone, the more we begin trusting them. Not because they've earned our trust, simply because they're familiar. And history has shown this many times. One of history's most famous betrayals didn't come from an enemy. It came from someone Caesar trusted, Brutus. For years, Brutus was part of Caesar's inner circle. History remembers the phrase, et tu, Brute? Whether those exact words were spoken or not, the lesson remains powerful. The greatest risks often come from people closest to us. Now, your office isn't ancient Rome. Nobody is carrying swords. But careers have been damaged by information, politics, and competition, just as kingdoms once were. The weapon simply changed. Today, it's information. First mistake, oversharing. One of the fastest ways people unintentionally hurt their careers is oversharing. Many employees reveal financial problems, relationship struggles, job frustrations, future career plans, health concerns. At first, it feels harmless because you're talking to someone who feels like a friend. But remember, people change roles. Today's teammate can become tomorrow's manager, or your competitor, or someone reporting directly to leadership. Information never forgets. For example, Amazon's leadership culture emphasizes written communication and documented decision-making. Employees are encouraged to communicate clearly and professionally because business decisions rely heavily on facts, documentation, and performance, not emotions. Successful employees know exactly what information belongs in personal conversations and what belongs nowhere outside their private lives. Why competition changes everything. Most workplaces are cooperative until opportunities become limited. Imagine a department with 10 talented employees. Only one management position opens. Nothing about the people changed overnight. Only the opportunity changed. Now everyone is measured against each other. This isn't evil, it's economics. Organizations cannot promote everyone. This creates what psychologists call resource competition. When rewards are limited, behavior naturally changes. Second mistake, believing gossip builds connection. Most workplace gossip doesn't begin with bad intentions. It begins with curiosity. Imagine someone walks up and says, "Can I tell you something?" Don't tell anyone. Immediately, your brain feels included, special, trusted. But here's the question. If they gossip with you, who are they gossiping about you with? Psychology calls this reputational signaling. People often share confidential information to appear valuable. But the same habit eventually damages everyone's trust. For example, during World War II, governments launched one of history's most famous public awareness campaigns. Loose lips sink ships. The message was simple. Small pieces of information, shared casually, could unintentionally help the enemy. Now think about today's workplace. No, you're not protecting military secrets. But confidential business information, strategic plans, client details, or even internal discussions can have real consequences. The principle remains timeless. Not every piece of information needs to be shared. Professional maturity means knowing what should stay private. Many leadership coaches teach executives one simple rule. Never build influence through gossip. Build it through reliability. Once people associate your name with gossip, trust quietly disappears. And trust is often the most valuable currency inside any workplace. Next time someone starts gossiping, try changing the direction of the conversation. You could simply say, "Let's wait until we know the full story." Or, "I'm sure management will clarify soon." Simple, professional, respectful. People notice who creates calm and who creates confusion. As we're talking about leadership, communication, decision-making, and business growth, there's something interesting I came across the Leader's Toolkit. Sometimes the real challenge is inspiring your team, handling tough conversations, making decisions that actually stick, staying focused under pressure. And it didn't stop at the ebook. You also get a checklist to keep you focused, a resource cheat sheet for quick solutions, and a mind map that simplifies everything into one glance. Simple, practical, and powerful. I've added the link in the description below so you can easily explore it after this video. Third mistake, confusing kindness with loyalty. Just because someone is kind to you doesn't automatically mean they are loyal to you. Kindness is a personality trait. Loyalty is a character trait. Those two things are not always the same. A coworker might help you finish a presentation, bring you coffee when you're busy, celebrate your birthday, or even defend you during a meeting. All of those are good signs, but loyalty is only revealed when there's something to lose. The real test comes when promotions, layoffs, bonuses, or leadership opportunities are involved. For example, think about the Olympic Games. Athletes from the same country often train together for years. They encourage each other, share advice, celebrate victories. But when the competition begins, only one athlete can stand on the highest podium. The friendship may still exist, but the competition is real. The workplace works the same way. Your coworkers may genuinely like you, yet when only one leadership position becomes available, everyone wants to succeed. This isn't betrayal, it's human nature. Fourth mistake, making emotional decisions at work. One of the fastest ways to lose credibility is allowing emotions to make professional decisions. Many employees react immediately when they feel disappointed. They complain after receiving negative feedback. They vent about managers. They criticize company decisions. Or they send emotional emails they later regret. Here's something experienced leaders understand. Emotions are temporary, records are permanent. For example, one reason Amazon became one of the world's most influential companies is its focus on disciplined decision-making. Jeff Bezos often emphasized making decisions based on data, long-term thinking, and customer outcomes rather than emotional reactions. Whether employees agreed with every decision or not, the culture reinforced an important lesson. Professional decisions should be thoughtful, not impulsive. How to manage this? When emotions are running high, pause before replying. Take notes. Ask clarifying questions. Respond after thinking, not reacting. Sometimes your greatest professional strength isn't having the perfect answer. It's maintaining composure when others lose theirs. Why this mindset protects you. You stop oversharing. You stop expecting loyalty that isn't structurally guaranteed. You build better boundaries. You make smarter career decisions. This isn't about trusting nobody. It's about trusting appropriately. How to apply this at work? Let's flip the conversation. Instead of asking, why shouldn't I trust my coworkers? Ask, how do successful professionals build healthy workplace relationships? 1. Separate friendly from friend. Friendliness is a professional skill. Friendship is a personal investment. Keep them as two different categories in your head. 2. Keep personal struggles personal. A little humanity is fine. Deep emotional disclosures about your finances, relationships, or job insecurities are better saved for people outside the workplace hierarchy. 3. Document your contributions. Don't rely on coworkers to vouch for your work informally. Make sure your value is visible through your own documented results. 4. Watch behavior during high-stakes moments. Promotions, layoffs, credit for projects. These are the moments that reveal the true nature of a relationship. Pay attention to who stays consistent and who doesn't. 5. Let real friendships prove themselves over time. If a relationship survives outside the office, after a job change, after a promotion one of you gets and the other doesn't, that's your evidence it's real. The exception. Now, to be fair, this isn't a blanket rule with zero exceptions. Some of the strongest friendships in life do start at work. People meet their best friends, business partners, even spouses through jobs. But here's the distinction that matters. Those relationships stopped being coworker relationships the moment they became something bigger than the job. The friendship started surviving outside the context of shared employment. It didn't need the office to exist. So all coworkers are your enemies? Absolutely not. Can coworkers become lifelong friends? Of course, many do. But don't confuse possibility with probability. The office is a place to collaborate, to learn, to grow, to contribute. Because careers are rarely damaged by working hard. They're often damaged by forgotten boundaries. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment with your own experience. Have you ever been burned by a work friend? I want to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and remember, be warm enough to build relationships, but wise enough to protect your future.